On December 23, 2025, just before Christmas, the Department of Justice made headlines by releasing over 30,000 pages of documents tied to Jeffrey Epstein's vast and shadowy criminal network. The timing was no accident. Coming at the close of a tumultuous year, it sent shockwaves through legal, political, and media circles across the globe. This wasn't a minor update or a routine disclosure. It was a long-awaited massive data dump, finally exposing years of hidden evidence and secret dealings. The sheer volume of information was staggering, with thousands of pages containing names, dates, financial records, and testimonies that had been kept from public view for far too long. Survivors, journalists, and the public saw this as both a breakthrough and a source of frustration. For many, it was a long overdue step toward justice, but the timing and overwhelming volume made it nearly impossible to process all at once. Newsrooms scrambled to analyze the files, while survivors braced themselves for what might be revealed about their own stories. The release, mandated by law after years of relentless legal battles and public pressure, was seen as a crucial test of the justice system's commitment to transparency. Would the truth finally come to light, or would powerful interests find new ways to keep the most damning secrets buried? Epstein's crimes were enabled by a powerful and well-connected network, many of whom had managed to remain shielded from scrutiny until now. The documents hinted at the involvement of influential figures from politics, business, and high society, raising urgent questions about who knew what, and when. For investigators and journalists, the files offered a rare chance to finally understand the true scope of Epstein's operation and to begin the difficult work of holding enablers accountable. Each page was a potential clue, a piece of a puzzle that had haunted victims and the public for decades. Yet the timing, right before a major holiday, sparked widespread skepticism about the government's motives. Was this a genuine act of transparency, or a calculated move to bury the story when the world was distracted by holiday celebrations? For survivors, the release was both validation and a painful reopening of wounds. Many feared that the sudden exposure could re-traumatize victims or leave crucial truths obscured by redactions and legal maneuvering. The hope for justice was mixed with anxiety and uncertainty. This moment marked a pivotal chapter in a saga far from over. As the world began to sift through the secrets within these files, one thing became clear. The story of Jeffrey Epstein, his enablers, and the quest for justice was entering a new, unpredictable phase, one that would demand vigilance, courage, and relentless pursuit of the truth. The DOJ's document trove was a sprawling, chaotic mix: court filings, FBI memos, emails, and more. Sifting through the 30,000 pages felt like piecing together a massive, fragmented puzzle, with each document offering a new clue or raising fresh questions. The sheer scale of the release was unprecedented, and it quickly became clear that this was not just a simple case file, but a window into a complex web of relationships, cover-ups, and secrets. Among the most revealing were thousands of emails between Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and their elite associates, exposing the logistics of their operation. These emails detailed travel arrangements, coded language, and the careful coordination required to keep their activities hidden from public view. Some exchanges hinted at favors, influence, and the involvement of powerful figures, making it clear that this was a network operating at the highest levels of society. The files included photos and videos, some long rumored, confirming the extensive documentation Epstein kept, fueling blackmail suspicions. These visual records, many of which had never been seen before, provided chilling evidence of the lengths Epstein went to in order to maintain leverage over his associates. The existence of such material only deepened the mystery and speculation surrounding his motives and the true extent of his influence. Records on Epstein's 20s avondsquals in Dapasin. It's a star control is in 19 and nasty scenes in Charlatan Dowd. Shocking security lapses and deepened doubts about the official suicide ruling. Surveillance footage gaps, malfunctioning cameras, and missing logs painted a picture of negligence, or perhaps something more sinister. These revelations reignited public debate and fueled conspiracy theories about what really happened in that jail cell. FBI tips ranged from credible leads to wild, unverified claims, highlighting the challenge of separating fact from fiction. Investigators were inundated with information, much of it contradictory or impossible to verify, making the search for truth even more daunting. Each tip had to be carefully weighed, cross-referenced, and either pursued or set aside. The sheer volume and variety ensured that uncovering the full truth would be a painstaking process. Every page, every file represented another piece of a story that was still far from complete. For investigators, journalists, and the public alike, the task of making sense of it all was overwhelming. The files offered a raw look at the machinery of a federal probe, but left many questions unanswered. Even with thousands of pages now public, the full scope of Epstein's network and the reasons behind so many failures to stop him remain shrouded in uncertainty, ensuring that the search for answers is far from over. The files revealed Donald Trump flew on Epstein's private jet at least 8 times, far more than previously known. Manifests showed Trump often traveled with Maxwell, sometimes alone, contradicting his claims of barely knowing Epstein. The DOJ issued a rare public disclaimer, warning that some claims about Trump were untrue and sensationalist, sparking accusations of bias. Critics argued the DOJ's statement was an attempt to shield Trump, especially since no similar disclaimers were issued for other public figures. Instead of quelling suspicion, the DOJ's move fueled theories of a cover-up and reinforced the perception of special treatment for the powerful. The revelations placed Trump squarely within Epstein's orbit, raising urgent questions about what he knew. The newly released files confirmed a direct and troubling link between Jeffrey Epstein's operation and Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago club. For years, rumors had swirled about the club's role in the wider Epstein network, but these documents provided the first concrete evidence tying the two together. The connection was no longer just speculation, it was now part of the official investigative record. In 2021, a federal subpoena demanded Mar-a-Lago's employment records, a move that suggested investigators were digging deep into the club's staff and their possible connections to Ghislaine Maxwell's trafficking activities. The subpoena wasn't just a routine request. It pointed to a focused effort to uncover whether Mar-a-Lago employees had knowledge of, or even participated in, the recruitment of young women for Epstein and Maxwell. This line of inquiry matched up with victim testimony, which had long alleged that Epstein and Maxwell actively recruited girls at Mar-a-Lago. The club, with its exclusive parties and high-profile guests, became a focal point in the investigation, raising questions about who knew what and when. Among the most disturbing revelations was an FBI tip describing a 2000 Palm Beach party, reportedly hosted by Maxwell. According to the tip, guests at the party were explicitly warned not to enter certain rooms, hinting at secretive and possibly illicit activities taking place behind closed doors. The tipster claimed that after the party, Trump himself invited the group to an after-party at Mar-a-Lago, but the invitation came with a chilling warning: the event was for prostitutes. This detail, while unverified, cast a dark shadow over the club's reputation and raised serious concerns about what really happened at these exclusive gatherings. Even though the tip's veracity remains unproven, its inclusion in the FBI files was explosive. It suggested that authorities took the allegations seriously enough to document them, painting Mar-a-Lago as more than just a recruitment site. It was potentially a venue for criminal activity. The combination of the subpoena and the FBI tip underscored just how closely Trump's world overlapped with Epstein's. The lines between social circles, business interests, and criminal investigations were becoming increasingly blurred. The Department of Justice's files suggested that Mar-a-Lago was not just a glamorous backdrop for the rich and powerful, but potentially a key venue for illicit activities tied to Epstein's network. The investigation was no longer just about individuals, it was about the places that enabled them. These revelations deepened the scrutiny of Trump's ties to Epstein's network, raising new questions about who else might have been involved, and what secrets Mar-a-Lago still holds. The files referenced a core group of 10 co-conspirators, confirming the investigation went far beyond Maxwell. Named were Maxwell, Jean-Luc Brunel, and Leslie Wexner. The other 7 remain redacted, fueling outrage and demands for transparency. Internal memos showed prosecutors drafted charges and even entered plea talks with one unnamed individual who scheduled hundreds of illicit encounters for Epstein. Some co-conspirators were described as both perpetrators and victims, highlighting the complexity of Epstein's web. The refusal to unmask the remaining names has become a flashpoint, symbolizing incomplete justice. The public is left questioning why these individuals remain protected and whether deals were made to shield them. The mystery of the 10 co-conspirators now sits at the heart of the Epstein saga. The files reignited scrutiny of Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton. Emails between Maxwell and an account linked to Andrew referenced trips and appropriate friends, echoing the coded language of Epstein's circle. The evidence further undermined Andrew's denials and reignited public fury, though he still faces no criminal charges. Clinton appeared in several photos with Epstein, including one in a hot tub, reinforcing the closeness of their relationship. While the files didn't accuse Clinton of crimes, the images and flight records continue to tarnish his legacy. Clinton's team called for full transparency, contrasting with the silence of others. The repeated appearance of their names highlights how Epstein's network reached the highest levels of power. Despite the massive release, heavy redactions left the public with more questions than answers. Names, dates, and entire sections were blacked out, making it nearly impossible to grasp the full story. Survivors accused the DOJ of protecting the powerful while failing to shield victims' identities, exposing them to renewed trauma. The redactions sparked bipartisan outrage in Congress, with lawmakers threatening action to force greater transparency. The staggered release and selective disclosures fueled suspicions of narrative control and manipulation. The DOJ's unusual defense of Trump and the hidden co-conspirator list deepened public distrust. Instead of closure, the partial release created a vacuum filled by conspiracy theories and anger. The sense that the truth is still being buried remains pervasive. The document release was meant to bring clarity, but instead left a trail of unanswered questions. Epstein's suspicious jail death, the failed surveillance, and minimal consequences for guards only fueled doubts. The files revealed an Austrian passport under an alias, hinting at international intrigue and deeper secrets. The continued redaction of co-conspirator names has become a symbol of incomplete justice. The public is left wondering who is being protected and why. Calls for full transparency are about more than curiosity. They're about justice for Epstein's victims. Until every name is revealed and every question answered, the shadow of Epstein's crimes will persist. The fight for the full story is a fight to ensure no one is above the law.